Welcome students. In this video, we will discuss a new lesson of our English literature book. Before I tell the name of the lesson, let's see some pictures. These pictures are of games and sports like polo, table tennis, hockey, football, basketball and cricket. Have you noticed some common things in these games or sports? These all games are team game and played with ball. As we know, each sport has different players and each and every player is important in the game. Like cricket. Cricket is also having different players like bowler, batsman, wicket keeper and fielders. And each and every player is very important in cricket. I know you might be thinking why ma'am is talking about sports and games. Because the next lesson which we are going to have is related to a bowler who is the member of a cricket team and tries his best for the victory of his team by skipping his drill classes in school. Now, do you want to know the name of the lesson? The name of the lesson is Before the Match. This short story is the part of a novel, Swami and Friends, which is written by R.K. Narayan. Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swamy, commonly known as R.K. Narayan. He was an Indian writer. He was known for his work. R.K. Narayan was a leading author of early Indian literature in English. His first novel was Swami and Friends. And one short story of this novel we are having today, that is Before the Match. Now dear students, please open page number 48 of your English literature book and keep a pencil with you to underline the new words. Before I start the reading of the first para, let me introduce the characters of the story. The characters are Swaminathan, Rajam, Mani, Drill Master and T. Keswan. The central character of the story is Swaminathan, who is a 10 years old boy, lived in a fictional town Malgudi. Next is Rajam. Rajam is the captain of MCC team and he is a good batsman. After that, Mani. Mani is another batsman of the team. Then, Drill Master, a teacher in Swami's school. Then, T. Keswan, the doctor. Now, let's read the first paragraph. Here, the match was to be played on Sunday, 2 weeks later. Rajam lost all peace of mind. He felt confident that his team could thrash the YMU. He himself could be depended upon not to let down the team. Mani was steady, if unimpressive. He could be depended upon to stop with his head, if necessary, any ball. His batting was not bad. There was only one player who caused him the deepest anxiety day and night. On him rested a great task, a mighty responsibility. He was the Tate of the team and he must bowl out all the 11 of the other team. But he looked uncertain, even with the match only a fortnight off. He did not seem to care for practice. Swami, Rajam pleaded, please do try to have at least an hour's practice in the evenings. In this paragraph, we are having some new words like peace of mind, thrash, anxiety, Tate, and fortnight. Let's see the meanings of these words. The first word is peace of mind. Peace of mind, it is a state in which one feels calm and quite not worried. Next is thrash. Thrash means defeat someone very badly in a game. After that, anxiety. Anxiety means worry or fear about something. Then fortnight. It is a period of 2 weeks. After that, the next word is Tate. Swami is given the nickname Tate after the famous English fast bowler Maurice Tate, who was well known in the 1920s and 1930s. Here in this picture you can see Maurice Tate, the English fast bowler. As Swami was also a fast bowler, that's why he was considered the Tate of the team. Now let's go back to the first para. Here the first para says that the match was going to be played on Sunday after 2 weeks between two teams, MCC and YMU. Here MCC refers Malgudi Cricket Club and YMU refers Young Men's Union. The match was between these two teams. Rajam, the captain of MCC team, was confident about his team that it will defeat the YMU in the match. He was himself a good batsman and decided not to let down his team in the match. Rajam could also trust Mani, who was an ordinary player of his team. He was regular in practice and improving every day. His batting was not bad. Only there was one player in the team who was creating anxiety day and night for Rajam. A great responsibility, a big task rested on him, and he was considered the Tate of the team, as he was the fast bowler of the team and he could bowl out all the 11 players of the opponent team. He was Swaminathan, and he was the reason of Rajam's worry, because Swami was not taking practice regularly. Even only 2 weeks were left, but he did not seem to care for practice. And we know very well that to do anything well, to excel anything, practice is needed. Without practice, we cannot do better in anything. And to win the match, the practice was very necessary. And Swami was not regular in his practice. That's why Rajam requested him to try to have at least an hour practice in the evening. As we know from this para that Swami was a responsible player of the team, then why he was not taking regular practice? To know this, let's have the next para. Here, certainly Rajam, if you can suggest a way, why not tell your headmaster that? Oh, no, Swaminathan cried. I am grateful to you for your suggestion, but let us not think of that man. I don't care. What I want is that you should have good practice. If you keep any batsman standing for more than 5 minutes, I will never see your face again. Here, when Rajam requested Swami to have at least 1 hour practice in the evening, then Swami told him that he will be regular if he could suggest a way. Actually, due to drill class, scouting and some other things in the school, Swami was not regular in the practice. Therefore, he asked Rajam to give any suggestion to get rid of all these things. Then Rajam suggested Swami that he should ask permission to his headmaster to leave school early for practice for the match. But Swami did not agree with this. He was not ready to take his suggestion as he knew that his headmaster is very strict and he will not leave him early. And even the headmaster will not listen his request. That's why Swami was not agree with Rajam's suggestion. Then Rajam told him that he did not care. He only wanted that Swami should have a good practice. Actually, he wanted that everyone in the team should have a good practice. And if Swami keeps any batsman waiting for more than 5 minutes, he would never speak to him again. Here you can see Rajam is trying to convince Swami to have at least 1 hour practice in the evening. And he also suggesting a way to talk with his headmaster. But Swami refused to take his suggestion because he knew very well that his headmaster is very strict. Now here is a question. Did Swami have any another way to leave drill class and scouting? And if he had any another way, then what is that? To know this, let's have the next para. Here, just 7 days before the match, Swaminathan realized that his evenings were more precious than ever. As soon as the evening bell rang, he lined up with the rest in the drill ground. But contrary to the custom, he had not taken off his coat and cap. All the others were in their shirts with their dhotis tucked up. The drill master stopped before him, looked him up and down, and passed on muttering, "You won't get leave coat and cap off." Swaminathan became desperate and pursued him, "Sir, I am in terrible state of health. I can't attend drill today. I shall die if I do." In this paragraph, we are having some new words and phrases like contrary to the custom, tugged up, muttering, became desperate, and pursued. So let's see the meanings of these words. Here is the first phrase, contrary to the custom, means different from what usually happens every day. This phrase is used when something is different from every day. After that, tugged up means raised something up into a fold to hold in place. When the edges of dhoti are folded and turned up to hold in a place, we can say it is tugged up. After that, muttering means saying something in a quiet voice that is difficult to hear, especially when you are annoyed. After this, became desperate means tried something when everything else had failed. Next is pursued means followed or chased someone. From this para we will know that what another way Swami was having in his mind to make his evenings free for the practice. When only 7 days were left for the match, Swami realized that without practice they could not win the match. They could not defeat the YMU team. And for the practice, his evenings were more precious. Then Swaminathan started to think how to make his evenings free for the practice and how to get rid of drill class. And he got an idea. What was the idea? Let's know together. As soon as the evening bell rang, all were lined up in the drill ground. Swami was also lined up with them. But on that day, he did not take off his coat and cap like every day. All others were in their shirts and dhotis. In this picture, you can see only Swami is wearing his coat and cap. Do you know why Swami did so? Because he wanted to draw his drill master's attention. And the same happened. When the drill master observed this, he came to him and looked at him carefully from up to down. And then he asked in quiet voice why he did not take off his cap and coat today. Now Swami tried to explain his drill master by saying that he was not well and he was in a terrible state of health and he could not attend the drill class for that day. And if he attended, he could die. Here in this picture you can see Swami is trying to convince his drill master. Now what do you think? Really Swami was not well or something else was going on in his mind? The next para will give the answer of this question. So let's have the next para. Here, the drill master had come to the last boy and yet Swaminathan was dogging him. He turned round on Swaminathan with a fierce oath. What is the matter with you? Sir, the whole of the last night I was delirious. The drill master was stunned by this piece of news. You were delirious? I did not sleep a wink last night. I was delirious. Our doctor said so. He has asked me not to attend drill for a week to come. I don't believe a word. Get out. Here we are having 3 new words. Dogging, oath and delirious. Let's see the meanings of these words. Here, dogging. Dogging means following someone closely. Next is oath. Oath, a word or phrase that is used to express anger, surprise, shock, etc. After that, delirious. Delirious is a state of excitement when you cannot think or speak clearly, usually caused by a fever. This paragraph says that the drill master did not believe Swami's excuse and he had come to the last boy. Still Swaminathan was following him closely. When the drill master turned back to Swami and expressed his anger by asking what was the matter with him, then again Swami got the chance to make excuse to make himself free from the drill class. Let me show you in the next slide. In this slide, you can see how Swami is trying to convince his drill master by saying that last whole night he could not sleep for a moment as he was delirious. Means he could not think or speak clearly. That's why his doctor advised him not to attend drill class for the following week. To hear this, the drill master was shocked. Though the drill master did not believe on Swami, even then he let him go. So here it is clear that Swami was making excuse to escape from drill class. And his excuse of being delirious worked for him to make that evening free. Now what about the other evenings? Did Swami have any other plan to be free all evenings of the week? To know this, let's have the next para. The next para is everybody at the field was happy to see him so early. Rajam jumped with joy. The next morning, he formed a plan to be free all the evenings of the week. It was 7:30 in the morning and he had still 2.5 hours before him for the school. After getting free from the drill class, when Swami reached at the field, all the team members were so happy to see him so early. Rajam was also so happy. He jumped with joy. But Swami knew that he has to find some other ways to escape drill class, scouting and other things of the school for the whole week. So he formed a plan to be free for all the evenings of the week. Next day, early in the morning, it was 7:30, still 2.5 hours before the school. He got ready. What was his plan? What the Swami was going to do? To know this, let's have the next para. The para is Swaminathan quietly slipped out of the house. He stood before a shop in front of which hung the board Dr. T. Kesavan, LM&S, Shri Krishna Dispensary. Swaminathan found that the doctor was alone and free and entered the shop. Hello Swaminathan, what is the matter? Doctor, I have got to have a doctor's certificate immediately. What is the matter with you? The para says, next day, before the school, so early in the morning at 7:30, Swami quietly left the house and stood before a shop. There was a dispensary in front of him, and on the board the name of the doctor and the name of dispensary were written. When Swami found the doctor alone and free, he entered his dispensary. The doctor asked Swaminathan what was the matter. Then Swaminathan told him honestly that he wanted a fake medical certificate immediately. Hearing this, the doctor got surprised and he asked what was the matter with him. Why he want a fake medical certificate immediately. Now let's have the next para to know what reason did Swami give to the doctor. The next para is, I will tell you the truth. Doctor, I have to play a match next week against the Young Men's Union and I must have some practice. And yet every evening there is drill class, scouting, some dirty period or other. If you could give me a certificate asking them to let me off at 4:30, it would help the MCC to win the match. In this para, we are having a new word, scouting. Scouting means activities which are related to an organization called the Scout Association. These activities are to train young people in practical skills and involve them in many other activities like camping. On being asked the reason by the doctor, Swami told the truth that he had to play a match next week against the Young Men's Union and he needed to have practice, but due to drill class, scouting and some other period in the school, his evenings were busy and he failed to have regular practice. If the doctor gave him a certificate asking let him off at 4:30, it would help the MCC team to win the match. So, Swami told the truth to the doctor to get a fake medical certificate. Here we know very well that Swami wanted this certificate to get sufficient time for the practice. Now let's have the next para to know, did the doctor give him the certificate or he helped Swami in another way? Here, well, I could do it, but is there anything wrong with you? Swaminathan took half a second to find an answer. Certainly, I am beginning to feel of late that I have delirium. Boy, did you say delirium? What exactly do you mean by delirium? Here we are having two new words, of late and delirium. Of late means in recent times. Here, after knowing this, that Swami wanted the certificate for the practice only, Dr. Keswan told him that he could give a medical certificate to Swami. But for this, Swami should have one or the other ailment or any physical problem to be certified. Then Swami thought for half a second to find an answer. And further he mentioned that in recent times, he felt that he had delirium as a problem. Listening that, the doctor got surprised and he asked Swami, did he know the exact meaning of delirium? Then, what was the answer of Swami? Let's know on the next slide. Here, I can't say exactly, but isn't it some kind of stomach ache? Here Swami stated that he did not know exactly what is delirium, but it must be something like stomach ache. So here with this statement of Swami, it is clear that Swami is using the word delirium as an excuse only to get a false medical certificate. And he did not know even the exact meaning of delirium. Then what is the meaning of delirium? Do you know? Just find out the meaning of delirium. It is your homework, as it is time to give the end to this video. With the rest part of the lesson, I will be present in the next video. Till then, keep studying. Thank you.